Welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. And I'm positive that I hate facing the Mariners now.
Really? Okay, because we were supposed to like facing the Mariners. The Mariners were our, I don't want to use the B word, but the Mariners were our D word for a while there.
They
and
were.
All of a sudden, it's not quite the same. And Astros fans, you've been calling for this all year. You've been like, Jake Odorizzi, you need to pitch better. He pitched better today, but the Astros offense couldn't back him up today. And yes, he did give up that run, but we'll talk about it. He pitched really good today. And the numbers show it, but unfortunately, the Astros offense didn't show it. And I'm sure even Sully on the Locked On MLB podcast will be like, you know what, Eric and Brett, I think that Jake Odorizzi pitched really good today. And you can listen to me on YouTube, just like the Locked On Astros podcast. Make sure you subscribe to me and Locked On Astros, Locked On MLB, and listen to us on Odyssey, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast, just listen to one of our podcasts. So, but yeah, it's frustrating because the Astros have the third best offense in baseball. And this is not just Eric saying, being a homer saying, oh yeah, we've got the third best baseball. This is what people across baseball are saying. They're shut out by the freaking Mariners. And the Mariners do have good pitching. And these are two pitchers that the Astros dominated last week. I mean,
we were there, Eric. We were there. We were literally in the building when it happened. And it was majestic. It was magical. It was everything that we dreamed it would be. And we go to Seattle and we literally fall asleep like we're trying to recreate Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks in Sleepless in Seattle. Our bats just went away. I don't know what happened. Right. I don't know what happened to our juju. I was ready to break out the Grave Encounters shirt for Kendall Graveman. And boy,
should have broke that up yesterday. Maybe that would have helped him versus Abraham Toro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Abraham Toro, he did it again. He came up with bases loaded and against another Astros pitcher who the Astros traded for. And once again, he came up big. So he got the RBI. He didn't get a grand slam this time, but he got the sacrifice fly. So Abraham Toro is the new Astros killer. He has personally won 2 games that I know of. He's hit a home run in a whole bunch of games versus the Astros, or at least
I don't know.
No, maybe I know he did it twice after the trade versus the Astros. He did it once in the series, I think. So that's 3 times I know of. So he may become the new Astros killers. And guys, I hate to break it to you, we're gonna be facing this guy for a long time.
Yeah, we are. Actually, the Astros killer in these 2 games was just a ball in the strike zone. They couldn't seem to hit it. I mean, you got 9 hits and no runs. And I was highly critical of the 8th inning at bat by Carlos Correa, where he saw a ball right down the middle. Now, people were defending him, saying, well, the shadow, when it's 10 feet from the plate, it's hard to see. It makes it impossible. But to not even swing, know the ball's coming, to not even make an attempt to swing, there were just so many things, Eric, because Odorizzi goes out and grinds and pitches his tail off. And the offense isn't like, oh, okay, well, it's just another loss. Like they probably genuinely feel bad because they were there when he gave up the 4 home runs, right? Where he wasn't helping them. Then he comes in and he blanks the team, and then they freaking just crap their pants when it comes to the offense. Right. But here's my question to you, Eric. This narrative that's been built. The Astros play bad against bad teams. Well, the Mariners aren't a bad team. Now, the Mariners aren't a great team. They're a good team. They're not a bad team. We're out of August, so the August excuse is gone. The bad teams are kind of going away. Well, now we're playing good teams. So what's going to be the excuse if they continue to play like this? Aren't they like 15-16 since the break? I mean, they can't play like this come October, come playoff time.
I think they're now 15-17 or something. I haven't
I'm
checked the
just
updated
saying,
stats,
like,
but
they're basically under 500 after the
right.
break, correct?
Something like that, or since the All-Star, or since they
Right,
trade
it's the All-Star
deadline.
break. No,
Yes,
since the All-Star break.
Okay. Yeah. So I haven't looked at the updated stats, but the Astros have struggled recently. But like the Yankees were red hot, and then they went on a 2-game losing streak. And I saw John Boy saying, "What is going on? Winning was so much fun, guys. What's going on?" He's getting all frustrated about losing. And yeah, you're gonna have these streaks. And I know we keep on saying this. And I saw somebody on Twitter saying, "I'm so frustrated with this up and down offense." Yeah, that's the problem with the Astros offense. We've seen this over time. Yes, they'll go out and score 20 runs or something, and then next day they'll get shut out. And unfortunately, that's just how this Astros offense is. Ledmus Diaz, who is really hot for a while there, he's ice cold right now. Altuve, we talked about in yesterday's show, he was really hot for a long time, most of the season. He's in a cold spell right now. He did get a hit today. But before we move away from Jake Odorizzi, I do want to address the fact that I love the little passion he showed when he had 2 runners on base and Dusty Baker came out to get him. He was a little frustrated. He was like, "No, I don't want to leave." And for the first time, he was like, "No, I want to stay in." And then Phil Maton came in and he gave up the run, but you can see that he really wanted to stay in the ball game, and I like seeing that passion for him. And he pitched 5 innings, only allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. And Dusty Baker after the game said this was probably his best game as Astro. And so unfortunately, and so this is what he said. I think he had a 1-hitter going into the 6th inning, and he was throwing the ball excellent. Better splitter today, better slider, well-located fastball. It was very encouraging. And he said that he made some adjustments in between starts, and it stemmed from lowering his hand position out of stretch and out of the windup while slowing down his tempo a bit. The goal was to have a better direction to the plate. And this is all stuff that he did. And Odorizzi said, "I've worked on some stuff between outings. It was pretty solid. The fastball velocity was better. Curveball was much better. It was lining up much better. Overall, I was pretty pleased with the pitch results from today. It was pretty consistent. Location-wise, pretty consistent as well. Sucks to lose a 1-0 game." One thing I do want to say is, as I was driving home, I wasn't able to listen to the game. I was just kind of following in the MLB at bat, and I saw a tweet by Channer Rome come up, and he must not really like Odorizzi because the tweet was like, "Oh, well, it looks like that Odorizzi's velocity is down a little bit, and he just spiked a pitch, so there must be something wrong with him." And but Odorizzi said that his fastball velocity was really good today.
I think
so
I saw that. Yeah, well, I saw that pitch. It literally looked like the ball stuck to his hand. You got all the different elements: the dirt, the wind, the whatever's there, and I mean, it just looked like he just hooked on him. I mean, his claws hooked onto the ball when he threw it, and he spiked it. He wasn't missing anything. Maldonado was behind there. There was one point where Maldonado came out and talked to him, calmed him down. I mean, he pitched a great game. And, Odorizzi has a lot of people who don't believe in him. And all he can do is put his head down, go compete in the game, and do what he did. But he's got to have support. Those bats have to wake up.
Okay. So you know what? MLB at bat is not the best way to watch a game. You know what's the best way to watch a game? Directv. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so does this sound familiar? You've got one device, and that lets you catch the game live. Another that lets you stream your favorite shows. You're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friend's login for all the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get all your TV together. It's called Directv Stream, and it brings you live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with Directv Stream. You can learn more at directv.com. That's directv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
Okay. This is a pepper packet and a salt packet right here. This is my my membership pass for the Robel Garcia fan club. I am turning it over to you, Brett Chancey. Here you
Hold
go.
on.
I'm,
I
I just
don't.
I just turned it over to you.
I don't
Okay,
want
hush,
it.
hush, hush. And here's my membership to the Jake Odorizzi fan club. I am now a official charter member of the Jake Odorizzi fan club. Am I playoff Jake Odorizzi fan club? I don't know. I don't know if I'm that
You
bold yet.
can't throw Rebel in the trash and then be a Fairweather Johnson when it comes to you got to be all or nothing, Eric.
Hey,
And you can't. Hey, you need to go to pristine auctions and like auction that authentic Robel Garcia presidential like spot to somebody who wants it. I don't want it.
the salt packet.
But hey, Eric, can you hit that Thoughts by Dusty little jingle for me? Because I want to share one of his quotes. I want to talk about that just for a second.
Thoughts by Dusty.
Hey, man, they threw some good games against us. I was talking to people, and that's their strength. Their strength is in their pitching. You don't say, Dusty. So it took you talking to people to know that they have good pitching. How about the evidence is on the field when your hitters aren't hitting? I'm just like, sometimes the things that Dusty says, Eric, he definitely comes from a different school of thought. It's definitely an old school mindset. And honestly, Dusty doesn't give two craps about what I say about what he thinks. And that's fine. And I don't want him to. But when I saw that, I'm like, you talk to some people like like the scouting department, you talk to like other managers, like you called your uncle, like who did you, I don't know, it was just, I saw that and I was like, why do I feel like this guy's just like, let's just go to the next game.
All right, here's another thought by Dusty. They're getting strike one on us. They changed their game plan on us. You can tell again. They had a high percentage of first pitch strikes. They threw a good game against us. That's their strength. And here's Dusty Baker on Jose Altuve. One thing's for sure. He's going to get hot. He's going to be fine. He's having a great year scoring runs with RBIs and homers. He's going to hit. And I think I had one more.
That's optimistic, Dusty. That's fortune teller, Dusty.
Okay.
Let me look into the fortune of the ball.
And speaking of that, this is not really a quote, but Dusty said he does not expect Zach Greinke or Taylor Jones to join the team in San Diego. Really? I mean, you place them on the COVID. I mean,
they're not going to, right? Isn't it like a 10-day minimum now?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, Doug could be in San Diego.
I'm telling you, he is the John Madden of the Major League Baseball. It's gold every time he talks. It's gold.
Well, some reporter probably had to say, "Well, Dusty, is there any chance that Zach Greinke will be pitching against the Padres?" Well, I don't think that there's a chance. Speaking of which, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but Abraham Toro of the Mariners is the first player in MLB history to hit a grand slam off a pitcher for whom he was traded for earlier that season.
Well, good for Abraham Toro. I hope he enjoys.
He was also the first person to hit. He was the first player in history to hit a home run within a certain time of against the team who he's traded for earlier this year. So he's just making all type of history.
Yeah, and he's the only player in history to have a tribute video that had one highlight from his time with the former team.
And wasn't today the
anniversary of
that where the F is Toro?
Yeah.
And who brought that up on Twitter today? And everybody,
Ben Verlander.
Oh, he did, but who else?
He did.
Chandler Rome.
Oh, Chandler Rome. Oh, that's right. He did.
And everybody's like, really, Rome? Really, Rome?
That's
We're being
funny.
Shut out right now, and you're going to do that.
That's funny.
Jake Odorizzi says these two losses suck, but we're going to be okay as a team. And so, yeah, it just sucks. It just sucks the fact that all you needed was one run to tie the game, especially when you had the two runners on in the ninth inning, and you had Kyle Tucker up there, and I almost said Hunter Pence.
Oh wow! I was like, yeah,
I'll go old
man,
school. But
man,
you
you were
had
throwing it
Kyle
back.
Tucker up there, and then you had your Boy Wonder up there. That's why I was thinking Boy Wonder, and I went back to Hunter Pence. But then you had Jake Myers up there. Unfortunately, neither one of those could score in the ninth inning. But you're
There
going
is
to
some
lose these
good
games.
news though. There is some
What's
good
up?
news.
You save
Oakland
some news
got
for us?
Oakland got beat by the Tigers.
Okay, cool. That's
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
there you go. Yeah, so we're still 5 games up.
You know what some bad news is? The Astros had 9 hits. The Mariners had 3 hits.
Yeah. All they needed was one. I
Right.
mean, you basically score more than anybody. I mean, you make score more than the other team, you're obviously going to win. And this is a team loss. I did criticize that last at bat by Carlos Correa. For me, I think of all the things like this year. Think about it. He's
Right.
got the highest WAR of any position player
Right.
in the league. He
Hey,
is, yeah,
can we talk about Carlos Correa after in the next segment? I do
yeah,
have
definitely.
something
Let's
I
do
do
that.
want to address about Carlos Correa. But
Yes.
hey, guys, we did have some. We were kind of speculating about who would be the 27th and 28th player added to the roster. It was Jose Urquidy. He was one of them, and I guess it made sense. Thought that they would have somebody just in case they needed somebody for today's game. But Jose Urquidy would get the start on Friday in San Diego, so he would be starting on Friday, and then Framber Valdez will be getting start on Saturday. So that's who's beginning to start in those games. And also, Enoli Paredes was recalled from the Sugarland Skeeter, so he made the big old flight to Seattle for guess
Oh,
what, guys? Probably nothing. He did throw the bullpen in the first inning, and a lot of people were probably looking at that. Oh, there must be something wrong with Odorizzi because Paredes is warming up in bullpen. But that's not what it was. I'm sure they're trying to see what's going on with him because he has struggled with command this year in
he,
Sugarland.
yeah, he has. And the 2 times that I saw him pitch, which was a few weeks ago now, he's just not consistent. Like there's just a lot of things. His arm slot, the way he lands, his plant foot. He's got such a herky jerky pitching motion to the plate, Eric. When he's on and when he's consistent, he's dominant, but he's not consistent enough.
Right.
And that kind of pitching motion is hard to tame. I mean, I don't. If you do, you remember Dontrell Willis
Mm-hmm.
with the Marlins? He was really good, but remember he had a long stride and he had this big, long, sweeping arm action, and he had success, but he had control issues. And whenever you have a real complicated delivery, it's tough. I mean, it's hard enough that you're facing major league hitters.
Yeah,
So I hope he has
Tim
success.
Lincecum was
Yeah,
good for a little bit, but
he
then he
was.
couldn't maintain that for a long
Yeah.
period of time.
I
So
mean, pitching is I mean, it's a chess match on that mound.
right.
And I hope he gets his stuff back together because I think when he's on, I like his fire. I like his tenacity. I like
Right.
his drive. It fits on this team.
Yeah, AAA hitters tend to be overly aggressive, and they tend to swing at a lot of pitches. And he had 16 walks in 17 and 2/3 innings with Sugarland Skeeter. So that's
Yeah.
something that's kind of alarming, and it makes you not really want him to have a lot of betting on him, I guess, this year. So talk a little bit about betonline.ag.
So betonline.ag is your online sportsbook experts. It's that time of year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron to start the football season. I would say it's also on the baseball diamond because we're in H-Town, right? As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all pro and college football action this season. Get all the updated odds, props, and contests, including online's biggest $500,000 NFL mega contest and the world's largest 200,000 NFL Survivor contest open now at BetOnline. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 100% welcome bonus. Be sure to take advantage of our opening day super promo. Make a bet on the Thursday, September 9th season opener between the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. And if you lose, your wager will be refunded up to $25 for new customers only when signing up using the promo code NFL100. Bet online, the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports from football, basketball, baseball, boxing, right now your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait and take advantage of all the great offers available for the 2021 season. Bet online, your online sportsbook experts. Promo code Locked On.
If I had a friend who was having some car issues and they knew how to do it, they just need a good part, where would you recommend?
Man, I would say rockauto.com hands down. When there's so many makes and models out there, it's impossible to go to your local chain store, your auto parts store, and find the stock, the things you need. Why endure the pointless and seemingly intimidating questioning of is your Odyssey an LX or an EX, or is your Titan an SL or an SV? Wait. Don't worry about that because they've got you covered. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a mechanic or not. They charge everybody the same price. It's always low. Save time and money with Rock Auto. Spend 30, 50, sometimes 100% on the same parts from the chain store or car dealership. Rock Auto is a family-owned business serving do-it-yourselfers for 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you'll ever need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. We encourage you to go to rockauto.com. It's an easily navigable website. So right now, go to rockauto.com and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box to let them know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need at rockauto.com.
All right. So before the season, I know the Astros made a contract offer to Carlos Correa. I believe it was a 6-year, $120 million offer. And then later it was a 5-year, $125 million offer, something like that. So then he said, if we don't agree with the contract before the season starts, I'm not going to negotiate during the season because he wants to focus on playing baseball and winning a championship with Houston Astros. So a lot of people have assumed that means that he's going to become a free agent. And I know there's a lot of people that's saying that of all the possible free agents with the season Carlos Correa is having, I know there's the injury concerns. He could be the player that gets that $300 million deal. So with that being in consideration, so I guess somebody asked him, or I don't know how this came up, but somebody asked him, and Carlos Correa said he's open to returning back to Houston. So this is what he said. You never, let me read this part first. It says, I was very clear once the season started. I didn't want to have any conversation. Obviously, they respected that. We'll see once the season's over. We'll see where we're at. Okay. You'll never know, man. Obviously, I do not know. I do not have a contract with the Astros for next year. Who knows? If they want to keep me here, I'll be happy to stay here. If they don't see me here long term, I'll go play for someone else. That decision is out of my hands. The only thing that's in my hands is the way I perform on the field and the way I help with my team win ball games. And he did admit that, especially towards the end of the season, he could get a little sentimental.
Oh, yeah.
Playing at Minute Maid Park for potentially last time. And when asking about that, he said, 100%. Knowing that this is my last year on the contract and I don't know if I'm coming back, obviously I'm going to get sentimental, especially being at Minute Maid Park with the fans. We'll see.
So let's think about this, Eric. Let's take our all the different hats that we've worn throughout the year. I mean, I don't know about you. I would love to see Carlos Correa be an Astro for life. I don't know how much I'm willing to commit. I don't know if I'm willing to go to 35, 37 million as a team, but Carlos Correa is about to have his first baby. Children change things, and you and I are both fathers, and we know that. When you have a family, when you have roots, when you have someone like Lance McCullers Jr., who is like your best friend, basically, and you have relationships with Jose Altuve, when you have these with Yuli, when you have these relationships, that means something. That's very palpable, and it's very strong here in Houston. And with the way he took his team on his back, Eric, I believe that Carlos may do what a lot of people may not expect him to do. He may stay in Houston because he may get his best offer in Houston. He was injury-free this year. He does have the highest WAR this year from position player. He has stayed healthy, and so that bodes well for him. But I don't know that the market is wide open. It's a different year. It's a CBT year. Basically, the collective bargaining agreements here, the CBA, that's going to alter a lot of things. He does want the money, but he may give them a hometown discount. May not a huge discount, but he needs to relinquish on the years. If the reports that I've heard that he wants 12 years, there's no way that the Astros give him 12 years. They give him, I say, give him 6 years, give him 2-year player option. This is what I say.
What's the longest contract the Astros have given?
Like 6 years, right?
6 years,
6,
yeah.
7. Oh, so here's the deal: 6 years, 33.
That's an extension. Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal: 6 years, 33.3 per year. Give him player options for year 7 and 8. Okay, for year 7 and 8, and 7 and 8 are player options. And in year 7, you give him $34.5 million. In year 8, you give him $37 million. In those last 2 years. So you give him 6 years, you give him 2 years player option, and you just escalate that deal. You give him 33.3. I think that's a fair contract. I think you can move with that, but you don't give him more than 8 years. But those last 2 years are player options. If you sign, if you decide to say this is what you get, and you give him a raise and an incentive for doing that. So there is a path forward. I want it to happen. I have been critical of Carlos Correa from this last game, but I think overall his body of work, he's done phenomenal. Gosh, his glove is amazing. When he hits, when he's on, he is on. No one hits the ball with the amount of tenacity and just laser focus that he does,
right,
like he does when he's focused. So I hope it works out because I don't see him anywhere else, Eric. He is the player. Like other players, you can see him playing for other teams. Not Carlos Correa. I just can't. Like the Astros uniform behind me. I don't see him wearing any other team but that Astros uniform.
Right. Even as a teacher, you have a bad day. You're
Yeah.
gonna have bad days. Podcasters, we have bad days. So it's gonna.
No,
happen.
we don't have bad days. I mean, no, joking.
So, but the Astros have definitely had bad days in the past few days. After scoring 30 runs in 3 games against the Mariners in August, the 20th through the 23rd, 22nd, the Astros have scored 27 runs in their past 9 games.
Wow.
They've done 3 runs. That's 3 runs per games. So the Astros offense has definitely struggled recently. And so basically it just sucks. And 3 of the 6 games the Astros have been shut out this year. Guess who they've been shut out by?
The Mariners.
The Mariners. And guess who the other team that shut them out twice?
The Rangers?
No.
Hold on. Is it our division?
No. It's a rival that don't like us very much, and it's not the Dodgers.
The Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Didn't know that.
So I don't know off the top of my head who the other one is, but I do know that those are. So the Astros are still 78-55 on the season. The Astros haven't scored in 19 straight innings.
That's
beautiful.
You know what that means? That means when they go to San Diego, and that's what we're going to talk to Javi Pena about. Y'all need to make sure you listen to our next episode because we have the Locked On Padres host with us, and he is a phenomenal guest. He asked us if we wanted to do a little crossover, so that'll be fun. And because I know he's been reeling, he's been going insane with the ups and downs. Because the Padres, Eric, I thought at one time were the favorites. I mean, even over I want the Padres to be up for the playoffs, not for this series. How's that?
Yeah, and maybe it'll be Slam Diego for the Astros, and they wake their bats up, and so hopefully that's what's going to happen.
Slam the Astros. Wait, I tried.
You can find him at H-Town Wheelhouse. All right, betting on the Astros doesn't have to be a guessing game. If you listen to new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling, get daily picks, blowout special, ROM team favorites picks, and Lee Sterling's Lock of the Day. Follow the Locked On Bets podcast hosted by betonline.ag, wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you keep on subscribing to the Locked On Astros podcast, hosted by Eric Huysman and Brett Chancey. And keep on subscribing. And we will see you tomorrow with Javi. And hopefully it's a much better series versus Padres because the Astros need I know the A's went 1, but the Mariners have gained 2 games against the Astros. So we'll talk to you tomorrow and go Stros.